Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. The weekend is getting closer. We can see it. Got about a day and a half until Friday evening. Weekend starts. Thank God. Weekend's been going pretty fast. I don't know how y'all's week is going, but mine's going by pretty fast so far. Hopefully, it stays that way so we can get to the weekend. Uh, this weekend, when you first looked at it in the off season, you're like, hey, you got some good matchups. But as the beginning of season happened, these last few weeks, you're like, well, some of these matchups aren't so good anymore, but they're still intriguing, still interesting. I'm not gonna say it's a total down Saturday, go do yard work or run errands, but yeah, just not really the excitement of some of the past Saturdays we've had. But still, got like I said, you got some intriguing games, some interesting matchups, things to keep an eye on. So we'll go over that. We got some news items before we start. Hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything. Let's get started. These last few weeks we've had some sad news, and unfortunately we're going to start with some sad news. I don't know if anybody saw this. I actually didn't know this happened until I read about it. But Florida Highway Patrol Trooper Craig Gaines, he's been part of the Florida A&M sideline security for years. Evidently, being on the sideline, I didn't see what happened. I didn't see the game or the highlights or anything. But the Florida A&M Florida Atlantic game they were playing last Saturday, evidently there was a collision on the sideline. The trooper, he was involved in the collision. I guess he got hit really bad because man, he passed away from complications because of that injury. Um, that's just crazy. The sidelines, man. When you're on the sidelines, you don't think that something like that could happen, but we've seen it. Players going to the sideline full speed, and somebody gets hit, near misses. Evidently, Trooper Gaines got hit and passed away from the complications from that. So, man, prayers to him. Thanks for your service, dude, for all you've done for keeping people safe out on the highway. And prayers to his family and friends and colleagues and Florida A&M. That's I don't know how to say. That's just crazy, weird stuff. Sad stuff too, but I don't know. That's just weird. Um, Northern Illinois, they are going to get $35 million in 6 seasons as a football member only of the Mountain West Conference. Conference will also pay 1.5 million signing bonus and up to 2.5 million for Northern Illinois' exit from the MAC conference. So I don't know if it says football only. I don't know if the rest of their sports are joining the Mountain West or what, but maybe that's just for football. I don't know, but I guess more remains to be seen about that. Big 12, they fined Colorado 50 grand for hateful and discriminatory language by fans during the BYU loss. Expletives and religious slurs were yelled at BYU fans. I don't know if that stuff was caught on tape or what, or a bunch of witnesses, who knows. But anyway, Big 12 is fined Colorado $50,000 for acting like fools. Alabama outside linebacker Qua Russell out for an extended period of time with a broken foot. He hurt that in the Georgia game. Penn State linebacker Tony Rojas sidelined long term. Didn't give an injury, just an unspecified injury. They're not telling. Iowa State cornerbacks Jontez Williams and Jeremiah Cooper out for the season. Both have knee injuries. And then some basketball news. Iowa State point guard Tamin Lipsey will miss 4 to 6 weeks. He had a knee injury in practice earlier this week. That is your news. Let's get on to this weekend. Like I said, not the greatest weekend, but also not the worst. Tonight, it's college football. That's all I got to say. 8 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 0-4 Sam Houston versus 2-2 New Mexico State. Like I said, hey, it's college football. Tomorrow, got some decent ones tomorrow. 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, 4-1 Western Kentucky takes on 3-1 Delaware. Blue Hens, man, they like to get a good win there. Western Kentucky, 371 yards and penalties this year. that's crazy. Delaware's quarterback, how do you say his name? Mini Kusi? Mini Kasuli? Something like that. 8 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns this year for him. So he's having a pretty good season. 6 p.m. on ESPN2. 1-3 Charlotte versus 3-1 South Florida. Nobody's talking about the Bulls anymore since they lost to Miami. Remember, they were kind of college football's darling there for a couple of weeks, but since they lost to Miami, nobody's saying anything about it. 9 p.m. We got some late night Friday night football. 9 p.m. on FS1. 3-1 New Mexico versus 1-3 San Jose State. 9:30 on CBS Sports Network. 1-3 Colorado State versus 3-1 San Diego State. This one's kind of interesting here. 9:30 on ESPN, late night Big 12 game. 2-3 West Virginia versus number 23 BYU. Both these guys are pretty even in rushing and passing. But West Virginia, they have racked up 314 yards and penalties so far this year. Moving on to Saturday, 11 a.m. on CBS. Service Academy game. Those are always pretty damn good. They are fighting. They want to win that Commander-in-Chief trophy. Air Force is 1-3. But still, like I said, Commander-in-Chief trophy. Playing 4-0 Navy. So that could be an interesting game there. Like I said, those 3 guys them and the Army like to scrap it out and fight, try to win that trophy. So it might be pretty good. 11 a.m. on ESPN2, number 14 Iowa State. Just talked about it. Lost 2 of their starting cornerbacks versus 3-1 Cincinnati. They are close in the rushing and passing department. Rocco Beck for the Cyclones, 7 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns this year. Sorsby, though, for Cincinnati, 10 passing, 4 rushing. Cincinnati does have almost 100 more yards and penalties racked up than Iowa State. 11 a.m. on ESPN+. ESPN+. Remember that. 2-3 Kansas State versus 3-2 Baylor. Remember there was a time when this game was on TV. I don't know what's going on there at Kansas State. Baylor, they're not meeting the expectations of the media preseason. But, yeah, remember that game used to be on TV every year. Now it's on ESPN+. 11 a.m. on ABC, 2-2 Kentucky versus number 12, Georgia. They are close in the rushing yards. Georgia does outdo them in the passing game. Are we on Stoops watch? Just wondering. I know we're probably on Napier watch. Who else's watch are we on? We're on somebody else's watch. But are we on Stoops watch now? Are we? 11 a.m. on Big Ten Network. This one might be a pretty good game. Number 22, Illinois versus 2-2 Purdue. Boilermakers, even though they got 2 losses, they're a hell of a lot better than they have been in the last couple of years. So they're playing at home too, West Lafayette, so they might give Illinois a hell of a game. 11 a.m. ACC Network, 1-3 Boston College versus 2-2 Pitt. Both of these are passing teams. Both average under 103 yards rushing a game. 11 a.m. on ESPN, 1-3 Clemson versus 2-2 North Carolina. 2 teams having very disappointing seasons when their expectations were way up here back in July and August. 11 a.m. on Fox. 2-2 Wisconsin versus number 20 Michigan. Michigan better in rushing, but these 2 are close in the passing game. Fickle. That's the other one I was thinking about. Are we on Fickle watch? Remember, they fired Paul Chryst, who was better than Fickle, about this time 3 years ago. So we might be on Fickle watch too. 12 p.m. on ESPN+, UTSA versus Temple. Both of them are 2-2. Both of them are going to fight hard to break that 500 barrier there. 12 p.m. CW. 2-2 Wake Forest versus 2-3 Virginia Tech. Hokies, they do keep getting better each week. Starting to be a better football team, but they do have over 300 yards and penalties so far this year. 2 p.m. on TNT. 1-3 Oklahoma State versus 3-1 Arizona. What does Oklahoma State have to do to break the slump they're in? Got rid of Gundy. Got rid of the defensive coach. What these guys got? What the Cowboys got to do? Cowboys, what do you have to do to start having a better season? Tell us. We all want to know. 2:30 on CBS Sports Network. 2-2 Florida International versus 3-2 UConn. UConn has 36 more first downs this year than Florida International does. Interesting one here. 2:30 on NBC. 3-1 Boise State goes to South Bend to play number 21 Notre Dame. They are close in rushing, even in the passing game. Broncos do have 140 more yards in penalties this year than Notre Dame does. Pretty good one here. 2:30 ESPN2. Number 24 Virginia versus 4-0 Louisville. Good ACC battle there. Both of them are pretty good. 2:30 on CBS. Number 7 Penn State goes to LA. Well, Hollywood, Westwood, whatever you want to call it. To play 0-4 UCLA. UCLA, what do you need to be better? Tell us. Just like Oklahoma State, we need to know. 2:30 on ESPN. Number 9 Texas versus 1-3 Florida. Not so much intriguing anymore, but hey, you never know. I mean, it's college football. We've seen crazy things happen. You never know. And Arch Manning, he seems to only look good against inferior teams. Now, I know Florida is not as good as Texas, but still, they're an SEC powerhouse. Not so much this year, but still, you never know. I mean, you just never know. 2:30 on ABC. A lot of people want to see this one. Number 16 Vanderbilt versus number 10 Alabama. Vanderbilt actually is better in the rushing game. They're close in total yards. Bama is slightly better in the passing game. Pavia averages 242 passing yards, 60 rushing yards a game. Simpson, he averages 285 passing yards. He's got 11 touchdowns already on the year. Vanderbilt, Alexander, and Young both have over 200 rushing yards a game. And 8 total TDs between the two. Stowers, Richardson, and Sherrill each have over 200 yards receiving, 8 total receiving touchdowns for them. Defense has 14 total sacks. Vanderbilt's defense. So I did not know that. That's pretty impressive. Alabama's Riley, only running back with over 100 yards rushing. Receiving, Bernard, already 310 receiving yards this year. Williams, 238. Horton, Brooks, and Riley, they have over 100 yards receiving also. 9 total touchdowns between them. Defense, though, only 5 sacks on the whole year, so that's kind of crazy. 2:30 on Big Ten Network. 3-1 Washington, who didn't really do worth a crap, versus Ohio State last weekend. But Ohio State's kind of on a different level. Their defense was in the backfield, Washington's backfield all game. But anyway, they're going to the East Coast to play 4-0 Maryland. Both the quarterbacks, they are close in numbers. Williams does have a better completion rate than Washington does. Washington does over 90 more total yards a game than Maryland does. So there you go. So Williams versus Malik Washington. That might be a pretty good battle there. 2:30 on BTN. 3-1 La Monroe goes to 2-2 Northwestern. Go all the way up north. They are close in the rushing and the passing game. 2:30 on ACC Network. 3-2 Syracuse versus 2-2 SMU. Who bounces back? I mean, SMU, boy, they're just not the SMU we've seen. Syracuse, I don't know what to say really about Syracuse. Both, though, they do both have good rushing and passing games, so this could be a pretty good war here. 3 p.m. SEC Network, 1-3 Kent State goes to number 5 Oklahoma, who is without Mateer. So we're going to see how this backup quarterback does for Oklahoma. Pretty intriguing one here. This one, I'm going to check this one out. 3 p.m. on FS1, Michigan State versus Nebraska. Both of them are 3-1. 2 good quarterbacks. Nebraska is a little better. They're pretty even in the rushing game, and they're playing there in Lincoln. That's probably going to be a pretty good game. I'm going to check that one out for sure. 5 p.m. on ESPN+. 2-2 Coastal Carolina versus 3-1 Old Dominion. Old Dominion, damn, Monarchs, they're having a pretty damn good season. 3-1. God, they only need 3 more wins to be bowl eligible, so they could have a great season here. That night, 6 p.m. ESPN, down the road in Houston. Number 11 Texas Tech goes to play 4-0 Houston. Texas Tech's Morton's averaging 266 passing yards a game, 69% completion rate. He's already got 11 touchdowns. He does have 3 interceptions, but it's only 3. Dickey, 6 rushing touchdowns for the Red Raiders. Connor Wigman for Houston, averaging 202 passing yards a game, 61% completion rate, 6 touchdowns this year and an interception. Connors has 3 rushing touchdowns for the Cougars. Texas Tech, better in the passing game, better in the rushing game, averages more total yards a game, has 5 receivers over 200 yards, 13 total touchdowns between those receivers. Texas Tech defense, 10 sacks so far this year. U of H, 3 receivers over 200 yards though, 5 total touchdowns between them. Their defense does have 9 sacks on the season, so this ought to be a pretty good one. 6 p.m. on CBS Sports, 4-0 UNLV goes to 2-2 Wyoming. UNLV better in the passing game. They are close in the rushing game. Both defenses have racked up 8 sacks this year. 6:30 on NBC, 3-1 Minnesota goes to number 1 Ohio State. Quarterback's pretty close in stats, actually, if you can believe that. They're close in passing and the rushing game and third down percentage. That's kind of crazy. Minnesota defense, 13 sacks. But so does the Buckeyes. They also have 13 sacks on their defensive unit, too. Finally, after the last few years, maybe even several years, Florida State, Miami is going to be a good one. 6:30 ABC, number 3 Miami versus number 18 Florida State. Carson Beck does have more touchdowns and a better completion rate. Defense has 10 sacks, but Florida State, Seminole defense, they got 10 sacks on the year also. They are even in the rushing game. Florida State does average more total yards a game than Miami does, and they are a little better on third down than Miami is. But yeah, prime time at the Doak. They still call it the Doak. Miami, Florida State. Finally, this game's probably going to be pretty good. 6:30 on SEC Network. 4-1 Mississippi State versus number 6 Texas A&M. Shapen for Mississippi State, 66% completion rate. Damn. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. They are close in passing and rushing yards per game. Reed for A&M, 60% completion rate, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mississippi State is better on third down. Mississippi State defense so far this year, 7 sacks, 7 interceptions. But A&M, Aggies, their defense have 14 sacks this year. This is one of those games where I keep waiting for A&M to stumble. Last week, didn't beat Auburn by much. Mississippi State's a damn good team. Kyle Field is a tough place to play, especially at night. I've been to plenty of night games there. This is one that A&M, it could get away from them. They got to start fast and keep on the gas. Fast and on the gas, Aggies. But should the Bulldogs come out there with a win, it's not going to surprise me. It's not. That's just the A&M fan of me all these years. 6:30 on Fox, 2-3 Colorado versus 3-1 TCU. TCU better in passing and total yard, or better in rushing and total yards. They are even in the passing game. TCU is better on third down, though, than Colorado is. 6:30 on ESPN2, 3-2 Kansas versus 3-1 Central Florida. Daniels for Kansas, 16 touchdowns this year. Kind of hard to believe they got 2 losses. Maybe 1, but 2 already with Daniels. That's just kind of nuts. All right, so your late night Saturday night college football. 9:30 on ESPN. 3-2 Duke goes on to the West Coast, to Berkeley, to play 4-1 Cal. Duke is better in the passing game and better on third down. They are kind of even in the rushing game, so we'll see how that happens. But Duke's defense, 11 sacks, where California's defense has 7 sacks on the year. So I think it's going to be a pretty good one, 9:30 9:30 on CBS. 1-3 Nevada versus 4-1 Fresno State. Pretty close in stats, except Fresno is better on third down. But like I said, got 2 late night ones there. Duke and Cal, and Nevada and Fresno State. I think that Duke and Cal game might be pretty damn good. All right, so if you're an FCS fan like me, got 3 games here to keep an eye on. 11 a.m. on the ESPN Plus, 2-0 Yale versus 5-0 Lehigh. People, 2-0 Yale. Yeah, for some reason Ivy League starts their season later. Most of them, probably the majority of them, have only played 2 games. So anyway, 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus. 4-0 South Dakota State versus 3-1 Youngstown State. That might be a pretty good one too to have on the computer. And then 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. 4-0 North Dakota State versus 3-1 Illinois State. So there you go. You got some decent games this week. Not a super Saturday like we've seen recently, but still something to keep you occupied. Anyway, yeah, day and a half. Day and a half, and the weekend is here again. Thank God. Stay busy. Friday afternoon, we'll be here before you know it. We'll be back Sunday, Monday, maybe even Tuesday. Who knows how things go. To review things that happen, crazy stuff, things like that. Anyway, stay busy. Be safe this weekend, and we will see you next time.